Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. Wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Ad-darsu arabi wa thalathuna, lesson number 34. And we know that in this lesson, we will focus on the nouns that are diptote or the nouns that are al-mamnu min as-sarf. In the previous lesson, we have discussed in detail, like all the categories and all the possibilities of the nouns that are diptotes or the nouns that are al-mamnu min as-sarf. And inshallah, today we will implement all the rules that we have learned in the previous lesson. Al-mudarrisu, the teacher. Aina Williamu, where is William? Now we can see that William does not have tanween. So what does that mean? We know that a noun, when it is al-mamnu min as-sarf, or when a noun is diptote, it does not accept tanween, and also generally it does not accept kasra. Aina Williamu, where is William? So now we know that William is a non-Arabic name, and all non-Arabic names are diptote or they are al-mamnu min as-sarf. That's why we don't have tanween over here. Bilalun, Bilal, safara ila Makkata, he traveled to Makkah, مع أقربائه, with his relatives, الذين who جاءوا came من لندن, from London. Now we can see in this sentence we have two nouns that are mamnu min as-sarf. After the preposition ila and min, we know that the noun is majroor, and we know that when a noun is majroor, it takes kasra. But we can see that Makkah does not have kasra, and similarly, Lindana does not have kasra. That means they are diptotes or they are mamnu min as-sarf. And why are they mamnu min as-sarf? We have learned that the names of the cities and the names of the countries, they are diptotes, or we can say that Makkah, because it is a definite noun and also it has ta marbuta, that's why it is mamnu min as-sarf. And Landana, because it's a non-Arabic name, and also it's the name of the city, that's why it is mamnu min as-sarf. So Bilal says he traveled to Makkah with his relatives who came from London. Al-Mudarrisu, the teacher. كيف حال جورج اليوم? How is George today? كانت به حمى, he had fever. Okay, now George, as we can see, is also non-Arabic name, but we can see that it has tanween, it has kasratan. Why is that? We have learned in the previous lesson that if a noun is, it's like non-Arabic name, but if the middle letter, as we can see here, ra, if the middle letter is sakin, and then it can accept tanween. So that's why we can see that halu is mudaf and Georgian is mudaf ilayh, and that's why it has accepted tanween. So the condition is if the noun is non-Arabic, but if the second root letter or the middle of the root letter is sakin, and if it is masculine, so it has to be masculine and the middle letter has to be sakin. In that case, it will be triptot, it will accept tanween. Bilalun, Bilal, huwa al-yawma ahsanu walhamdulillah. He is fine today and praise be to Allah. We also know that ahsanu is on the pattern of af'alu, and the nouns that come on the pattern of af'alu, they are also diptot or they are al-mamnu min as-sarf. Al-mudarrisu, the teacher. هذه دفاتر طلحة. These are the notebooks of Talha wa Yazida and Yazid wa Umara and Umar wa Ma'di Kariba and Ma'di Kariba. Aynahum, where are they? Now we can see that the Fatiru is also mamnu min as-sarf. However, it is mudaf over here and it is marfu because hadhihi is mubtada and the Fatiru is khabar. The Fatiru is mudaf and Talhata is mudaf ilayh. Now we know that mudaf ilayh is majroor, but here it does not accept kasra. Why? Because it's a masculine name and it ends with ta marbuta. Yazid is on the pattern of mudare, that's why it does not accept kasra and it is also mamnu min as-sarf. Umaru is ma'dul. We have learned a category that the justice has been done or there is a justification. And Ma'di Kariba is basically a noun that is the combination of two nouns. So that's why it is also mamnu min as-sarf. Aynahum, where are they? Yazidu, Yazid. So now we can see that the teacher has, or our Sheikh has beautifully chosen the names as well. So when we look at the names, we can also see that these names are mamnu min as-sarf. Ha nahnu ulai ya ustadu. Here we are, O teacher. If you want to say here he is, you will say ha huwa dha. If you want to say here I am, you will say ha another. And if we want to say here we are, so ha, as we know that it is harf tanbih. Nahnu is the damir, which means we, and ulai is also used to point towards something, points towards the person or thing which is far away. So the combination of ha nahnu ulai, that means here we are, ya ustadu, O teacher. Al mudarrisu, the teacher. Taktubuna fi dafatirikum. Now here, dafatir, it is on the pattern of mafa'il, but it has accepted kasra. Do you remember why it has accepted kasra? Because it is being used as mudaf. Dafatir is mudaf and kum is mudaf ilayh. And we have seen in the previous lesson, or we have learned in the previous lesson, that that a noun that is al-mamnu min as-sarf, it can accept kasra for two reasons. And one of the reasons that we have learned is that when it is used as mudaf, then it can accept kasra. So we can see that the fatir is mudaf and kum is mudaf ilayh. That's why it has kasra over here. Taktubuna fi dafatirikum. You write, or you write things in your notebooks. Ashiya'a, things. Ashiya is also mamnu min as-sarf. The original form is ashya'u. But then after changes, it has become ashya'u. It is on the pattern of af'ila'u. تكتبون في دفاتركم أشياء لا صلة لها بالدرس, that do not have any connection with the lesson. This is لا النفي للجنس, and we know that after this the noun is singular and it is mamnu على الفتح. So as we can, it is مبني على الفتح. So we can see over here لا صلة لها بالدرس, and ha here refers to the things. So the teacher says, you write things, or you write in your notebooks which don't have any connection with the lesson. So things basically. So the teacher says you write things in your notebooks which do not have any connection with the lesson. Ma'di Karibu. So now we have Ma'di Karibu. He says, نسمع من علماء مسائل شرعية أو نحوية فنكتبها في هذه الدفاتر. He says, we hear about نسمع, we hear min from ulama'a, ulama'u, on the pattern of fa'ala'u. So we know that any noun that comes on the pattern of fa'ala'u is mamnu min as-sarf. So that's why it does not accept kasra. Masailu is on the pattern of mafa'ilu. That's why it does not accept kasra. Nasma'u is fail plus fa'il, and ulama'a is maf'ul bihi al-awwal, and masaila is maf'ul bihi al-thani. Masaila, and this is mawsuf, and shar'iyatan is sifa. So he says, we hear about Islamic and grammatical issues. نسمع من علماء مسائل شرعية, Islamic, أو نحوية, or grammatical. Masail means issues or affairs. فنكتبها, and we write them, and ha refers to masail. في هذه الدفاتر, in these notebooks. Dafatiru is on the pattern of mafa'ilu, but here it has accepted kasra. Why it has accepted kasra? Because al is connected to this. Muhalla bi al, yani it is decorated with al. So both of the conditions have been met. The first condition was when mamnu min as-sarf is used as mudaf, it will accept kasra. And number two, when there is al with that, then it also accepts kasra, as we can see over here. We hear about Islamic and grammatical issues or affairs from scholars and write them on these notebooks. Al-Mudarrisu, the teacher. Al-Ahsanu, the best thing is an tukhassisu, that you specify. Khassasa yukhassisu takhsisan is to specify. An tukhassisu lihadhihi al-masaili. Masailu is on the pattern of mafa'ilu, but here it has accepted kasra because we have al with that, and it has accepted kasra because of li, harf jar li. لهذه المسائل دفاتر مستقلة, separate notebooks. Dafatir, notebooks, mustaqillatan, separate. Now we can see that dafatir is mamnu min as-sarf, so that's why we can see that there is no, and it doesn't need kasra because it is basically al-maf'ul bihi al-thani. تخصص لهذه المسائل دفاتر مستقلة. So دفاتر is موصوف and مستقلة is صفة. Now why the صفة is singular feminine مستقلة? Does anyone remember? We know that موصوف and صفة are equal in number, gender, capacity and status. دفاتر is the plural of دفتر, and we know دفتر is غير عاقل. So we know that when we have the plural of غير عاقل, it is considered as singular feminine. So now the father is singular feminine, that's why it is mawsuf, and the sifa is also singular feminine, and we can see that it ends with ta marbuta. Iqra darsa ya Marwanu, read the lesson, O Marwan. Now the teacher has told them the best thing is to specify separate notebooks for these issues or affairs. And then he says, read the lesson, O Marwan. Marwanu, it does not have tanween Marwan. Why? Because it has alif and noon zaidatan, or we have alif and noon at the end. So a definite noun that ends with alif and noon, it does not accept tanween. قال تعالى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. So Marwan says, I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan. Allah said, وَإِذَا قُلْتُمْ فَاعْدِلُوا وَلَوْ كَانَ ذَا قُرْبَى. Now we can see that qurba ends with alif maqsura. And we have seen in the previous lesson that a noun that ends with alif maqsura, it is mamnu min as-sarf. Dha is used as mudaf, and qurba is mudaf ilayh. But we can see that it does not have kasra. Why it does not have kasra? Because we know that it is mamnu min as-sarf, and also it ends with alif maqsura. And when you speak, وَإِذَا قُلْتُمْ فَعْدِلُوا, when you speak, that is testify, be just, even if it concerns a near relative. Subhanallah, so it has also a very beautiful lesson for all of us, that we have to testify, we have to speak all the truth, even if it is against our relatives, or our near ones, or the dear ones. فَرَجَعَ مُوسَى إِلَى قَوْمِهِ غَضْبَانَ أَسِفًا. Ghadban is on the pattern of fa'lan, and we know that a noun that is mamnu comes on the pattern of fa'lan, or when it is an adjective and it ends with alif and noon, it is also mamnu min as-sarf. Now we can see that ghadban is mansub and asifan is also mansub. Asifan has accepted tanween, it is mansub, but ghadban did not accept tanween because it is mamnu min as-sarf. So Moses returned to his people angry and grieved. فَرَجَعَ مُوسَى إِلَى قَوْمِهِ غَضْبَانَ أَسِفًا. So we have to focus on the nouns that are mamnu min as-sarf. وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تُقْسِطُوا فِي الْيَتَامَى فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُمْ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ. Now we know that if a noun comes on the pattern of maf'alu, it is mamnu min as-sarf. And also when it comes on the pattern of fu'alu and fu'alu, so we have thulathu wa ruba'u, and we can see that it does not accept tanween. If you fear that you may not maintain justice with orphan girls by marrying them, then marry women of your choice, 2, 3, or 4. So we can see over here that mathna wa thulatha wa ruba', they are also mamnu min as-sarf. These are the adjectives and they are ma'dul. We know that the numbers and the colors are adjectives. Umaru, also mamnu min as-sarf because it's on the pattern of fu'alu, or we call it ma'dul, or it is on the pattern of fu'alu. Ya ustadhu, O teacher, kam ma'nan li'in. How many meanings are there for the particle in? We know that after kam, the noun is generally indefinite, it is nakira, it is singular, and it is mansub. Kam qalaman indak, kam ukhtan lak. So whenever we have kam, after kam, the noun is singular, it is mansub, and also it is indefinite. So Umar says, how many meanings are there for the particle in? Al-Mudarrisu, the teacher, ta'ti, it comes, or ta'ti in comes, lima'anin, for several meanings. Ma'nan, and the plural of ma'nan is ma'anin. Lima'anin. So we can see li is harf jar basically, so the plural is ma'anin. We know that ma'anin is also marfu, and when it comes with harf jar li, it is majroor. In has several meanings. Minha ash-shartu, it gives the meaning of condition. Kama fi qawlihi ta'ala, as we have in the Quran, or as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, wa in khiftum, and if you fear. So now here it is used in the context of condition, shart. So it has several meanings, as the teacher says. So the first meaning is that in is used as condition, or it is used as a particle of condition. وتأتي مخففة من إن, and also it comes as a light form of inna. So inna, and when we make it light, مخففة, خفف يخفف تخفيفا, means to make something light. So when something is light, when you make it light, then also it gives the meaning of كما في قوله تعالى. So the light form will give the meaning وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين أي وإنك كنت. So here it gives the meaning, as we can see here, and it is used as a light form of inna, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, although you were before it among unaware. So it was basically وإنك كنت. We know that whenever we have inna, we have ismu inna and khabaru inna. So here we can see that ismu inna is ka and khabaru inna will be kunta. However, we can see that here ka is mahdhuf, and that's the beauty of the Arabic language, as we call it, lughatul hadf. Or also please remember that whenever you see in, that means after that ismu in or ismu inna is mahdhuf. That means it has been dropped. So you can write it down as a note that after in, whenever you see that we have khabaru in, but we don't have ismu in, which is basically ka over here, that means it is mahdhuf, it has been omitted. So the real form is wa innaka kunta. We know that when we have inna, it will have ismu inna and khabaru inna. So it is innaka kunta. However, here in is mukhaffafa, it is light. So that's why we cannot see ismu inna as it is over here. So number two, it is used as the light form of inna. Talhatu, now we can see that Talha is also a name that is mamnu min as-sarf. Ma ma'na, what's the meaning? Qawsi quzaha. Now we can see that ma'na is mudaf and qawsi quzaha is mudaf ilayh. Now we can see qawsi quzaha is basically a combination of two nouns, and we have seen that when there is a combination of two nouns into one word, they are also mamnu min as-sarf, ya ustadu, or teacher. So what's the meaning of rainbow, or teacher? So ma means what? Ma'na is meaning, and it is mudaf, and qawsi quzaha is mudaf ilayh. So that's why we can see that it does not accept kasra, it has fatha in the end. Al-madarisu, the teacher. Huwa, it is qawsun, bow, min nurin, from light, or it's a bow of light. Yadharu, that appears fis samai, in the skies. Tura fihi. Tura, this is basically the passive form of yara. Yara, and then we have yara, tara, tara, ara, nara. And the form of tara, the passive form of tara will be tura. Tura fihi, in it are seen alwan, colors, alwan al-tayfi, that is different spectrum colors, mutatabi'atan, that are seen in a succession. Tataba yatatabu mutatabi'atan, that means to follow something in succession. So the teacher says it's a bow of light that appears in the sky, in which different spectrum colors are seen that follow in succession. So that's the definition of qaws, quzah, that is basically rainbow. Nuhun, Nuh. Okay, does anyone remember why Nuhun has tanween?
It's the name of
it's the name of the prophet. Excellent. And also it consists of 3 letters, and the second letter is sakin. So any name that is a masculine name, it must be a masculine name. It consists of 3 letters, and if the second letter is sakin, then it can accept tanween, as we can see over here. Nuhun. So when it is the name of the prophet, we will say because it's the name of the prophet, but here it's the name of any general person, so we will say just Nuh. وَمَا مَعْنَى زُحَلَ يَا أُسْتَاذُ. And what's the meaning of زُحَلَ يَا أُسْتَاذُ? So here we can see معنى is mudaf and زُحَلَ is mudaf ilayh. However, it has refused to accept kasra, it has fatha. So what's the reason behind that? Because it's on the pattern of fu'alu. And what's the meaning of Saturn or teacher? Al-Madarisu, the teacher, huwa ahadul kawakibi, it is one of the planets. Ahad is mudaf and al-kawakib is mudaf ilayh. Huwa ahadul kawakibi, it is one of the planets. Yadkhulu shabun, a young man enters. Huwa, he, that means the young man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So he says, Assalamu alaikum to the person, to the students over there. Ana talibun jadidun. I am a new student. Min Afghanistan, from Afghanistan. And we know that Afghanistan is the name of the country, and the names of the countries are also mamnu min as-sarf, or we know that it's a non-Arabic name. That's why it is mamnu min as-sarf. Wasmi Shahun, and my name is Shah. Now we can see that Shah is a non-Arabic name, and the second root letter is Sakin. That's why it has accepted tanween. So he says, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon you. I'm a new student from Afghanistan, and my name is Shah. Al-Madarisu, the teacher, Ahlan wa Sahlan, welcome. Min ayyi Madinatin, from which city? Min Muduni, Mudan, as we know, is the plural of Madina. Min Muduni, Afghanistan, Anta. From which city of the cities of Afghanistan are you in? So the teacher is asking him, like, min ayyi Madinatin, min Muduni, Afghanistan, Anta. Shahun, min Balkha, he says, I am from Balkh. Okay, now here, Balkha has the second root letter is Sakin over here, but it did not accept tanween. Does anyone remember why? It's not min Balkhin. Yes. Does anyone remember? It's because it's a feminine noun. It's feminine. And for a noun to have three root letters and the second one has to be Sakin, but it must be masculine name. For example, Shahun is a masculine name and the second root letter is Sakin. But we know the names of the cities and the names of the countries in Arabic, they are feminine. So if it consists of three root letters and the second one is Sakin and it is feminine, then it will not accept the tanween. So that's why it is min Balkha, and it has to be feminine and it has to be definite. So that's why it does not have tanween. Yadkhulul muraqibu, the controller enters, and it could possibly be the last entry of the controller. We will definitely miss him. The controller always came and gave us lots of information, and we have learned a lot of Arabic from him as well. So I think this could be the last time he comes to the class. Yadkhul al-muraqibu, the controller enters. Al-muraqibu afil fasli karasiyu wa makatibu kafiyatun. Are there enough chairs and desks in the classroom? Karasiyu wa makatibu, they do not have tanween. Why is that? Mafa'ilu wa mafa'ilu. Excellent. Karasiyu is on the pattern of mafa'ilu. But we know ya happened to be there twice and the ya has been merged into tashdid. So mafa'ilu wa mafa'ilu, we know that there are only two nouns, mafa'ilu and mafa'ilu, that are mamnu min as-sarf, and they are muntahal jumur, yani that is the end of the plural. After that, we can't make any plural noun. And kafiyatun is basically the sifa that has been used for, or we can say afil fasli karasiyun wa makatibun kafiyatun. So we can afil fasli, we can make it khabar, and karasiyu wa makatibu kafiyatun, we can make it mubtada, or we can say that this is the sifa of karasiyu wa makatibu. Al-madarisu, la, no. Nahtaju ila thalathati makatiba ukhara. We need three more desks. So now we can see that the numbers from 3 to 10, they are used as opposite in gender. So maktab is masculine. That's why the number that has been used as is feminine. And also the numbers from 3 to 10 are used as mudaf and mudaf ilayh. And the ma'dud is always plural. However, we can see that makatib does not have kasra. So that we can say that it is mamnu min as-sarf because it is on the pattern of mafa'ilu. Makatiba ukhara, and ukhara is the sifa of makatiba. So there, and we know that the noun ukharu is also mamnu min as-sarf. No, we need 3 more desks. Al-Muraqibu, the controller. Musarran yas'alu al-mudiru an Williama. Asarra yusirru israran, that means to tell someone something secretly, to confide a truth. So musarran, yani speaking secretly, yas'alu al-mudiru an Williama. So the controller says that the manager is asking about William. Musarran is used as maful mutlaq. Yani yusirru musarran. He speaks quietly or secretly to the teacher, and he says that the controller speaks to the teacher that the manager is asking about William. Al-mudarrisu, the teacher. قل له إنه من أحسن الطلاب الفصل. Tell him that he is one of the best students in the classroom. قل له, tell him, and we know that after قل we always use inna. Innahu min, after general verb we use anna. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. But after qul we always use inna. So qul lahu innahu. So ismu inna will be who, and then the rest will be khabaru inna. Min ahsani tullabil fasli. Ahsan has accepted kasra over here. Why is that? Because it is being used as mudaf. Mudaf, ahsant. Yeah, so the verse of the Quran, do you remember that we discussed in the previous lesson? لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. أحسنتي. Yeah. So whenever the noun that is mamnu min as-sarf, whenever it is used as mudaf, then it accepts kasra. So قُلْ لَهُ إِنَّهُ مِنْ أَحْسَنِ طُلَّابِ الْفَصْلِ. Tell him that he is among the best students in the classroom. يُسْمَعُ رَنِينُ الْجَرَسِ. The ringing of the bell is heard, and this might be the last ringing of the bell as well. نَذْهَبُ الْآنَ إِلَى مَعْمَلِ اللُّغَةِ. Now we will go to the language lab. Ma'mal, I will ask you the last time or the last question. Ma'mal, what's the pattern of ma'mal, and what kind of noun is this? It's on the pattern of maf'alun. Yeah, maf'alun. Yeah, fa'ila yaf'alu maf'alun, and it is dharf al-makan, right? Like on the pattern of.
They mean to say the.
Sorry, I mean ma'mal, the noun, not the ending of ma'mal. The noun ma'mal, it is used as dharf al-makan, right? Like matbakhun, and similarly ma'malun. So ila ma'malil. So amila ya'malu is to work or to do something, and ma'mal is a place where we go and perform some activities. And ma'malil lugha, that means the language lab, the language lab. Okay. Ukhruju bihuduin. And then the teacher tells them, leave quietly. Wamshu mathna mathna, and walk 2 by 2. So alhamdulillah, our lesson is complete. Our journey of learning Arabic, our course is complete. This is not the end of the course. We have exercises that we have to complete, and inshallah, after that, we will try our level best to continue and analyze the text of the Quran as much as we can. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.